In today's video, I'm going to be talking about 3 different types of writing that you should be doing so that you can create more and improve along the way. Keep watching. Hey everyone, I'm Elliot. Welcome to my channel. I am a writer and content creator, and today I want to share with you a process that I am currently applying to my own work. I like to compare writing with sports because sports is all about practicing, learning the fundamentals, getting better, applying it in a game or a race or a competition scenario. Writing is a lot like that. Let's say you want to play hockey, you want to get better at hockey. So you join a team. You join a team and you practice. You show up to a game, you do warm-ups, you shoot at the net, you practice taking some shots. So the next element of playing hockey is being in a game. A regular season game. Something is on the line. You want to win. However, if you lose, it's not the end of the world because there's probably a game after that. There's a game after that as well. And it all adds up to being a whole season. Each game only matters in a small scale. Obviously you want to win more games than not, so you try your best. You try your best every time. So the next element of playing hockey is of course being involved in a championship game, a playoff game. This is the game that you've been practicing your whole life to get to. This is all your hard work paying off. This is the championship game. This is the potential to define your career. So I think about writing much the same way as I think about hockey that way. So there's warm-up, there's a regular season game, and then there's championship game. There's warm-up writing, there's regular season writing, and there's championship level writing. So here is what my process looks like that allows me to create more and actually improve. I see an improvement over time. And I think that's what's most important. It's not whether you win or lose necessarily. It's about seeing yourself improve. Because although I use the comparison of hockey, writing is more of a personal achievement. It's not beating someone at something. It's more about being a better writer than you were the day before. It's more like running than it is like hockey. I probably should have used that as the example, but oh well, here we are now. So the first type of content that I create, I call it content that I publish right away. This is the warm-up content. This is the content that there's not a lot on the line. This is the content I'm just trying new things, I'm throwing it out into the world and seeing how people respond to it. I know the idea of creating something and then just publishing it right away may seem scary to a lot of people, but in this day and age, if your content is not like spectacular, it probably won't be seen by anybody anyways. So I would not worry about someone finding it and judging you on it, because if people don't like it, they probably just ignore it. It just becomes noise somewhere else. Don't worry about any of that stuff. 1, this is warm-up. Gotta think about it that way. You're just practicing, getting better. 2, no one cares about your content. So the great thing about this warm-up style, creating content and then publishing it, it's a great way to get your blood flowing, get your creative juices flowing, get you practicing, get you trying new things, get your ideas on paper. Obviously you want to be creative, you want to do your best, but when the horn sounds and your time is up for that day that you spent working on this piece of content, ship it, publish it. Give yourself a shorter timeline to get this done. Because like warming up for a game, eventually the game is going to start. And you're just going to have to put warm-up aside and focus on the game. The next stage of writing that I want to talk about is writing that you edit and then try to get published. This is the regular season game for your writing. This is your writing with some desire, with some purpose behind it, whether it's getting it published in a literary magazine or getting it published in a guest blog, or just trying to get more eyes on it. Or this is a post that you are gonna put some ad money behind. This is when you pull bits and pieces from what you've written in the warm-up stage and try to apply it to a bigger piece of work. To me, the thing that defines this stage of writing is that there's still a specific deadline for it. If your goal is to write for a guest blog, obviously there's a deadline that I need to hand in this piece of work for feedback, for publishing. If it is a writing contest obviously there's a deadline for submission. So whatever project you're working on at this stage, there needs to be a specific deadline that you need to hit. You can't just keep working on this piece forever. This is the stage where you edit, get it as good as possible, and then you ship it. This is the regular season game. You're not gonna win every one, but you have to play it. So over time, as you submit more, you get more published, or you just receive a whole bunch of rejection letters. Over time, you see this progress that happens. You look at the scorecard and you see wins and losses over the course of the season. You saw which ones performed well, which one didn't. I like looking at my writing that way, seeing which piece of work really stood out when I look at the whole picture, when I look at it from a macro view. I think that's very interesting. It's not just define your writing by one piece of content, by a whole series of work that you've done. And I like to measure that over the course of like a year, just like a hockey season, just like a basketball season. I measure my effort, I measure my progress, I measure my improvement through that. It's like, okay, I took a dip there. What happened? I analyze it that way. So that is how I define the second stage of this writing process, is to write with a deadline in mind, with a purpose in mind. You write it, you edit it, a few rounds of edit, maybe even hand it off to some friends or people you trust to give you good feedback. Take that in. That is a step. This is a step about improving and tracking. So the next stage of this writing process that I want to talk about to help you improve and write more, this part is called writing that you refine until you are satisfied. This championship project is a big one. This is the one people are going to remember you for. This is the one that's going to really get you noticed. This is the one people will pay money on Amazon for. This is the project that you take everything you learn from warm-up, you take everything you learn from the regular season, and you apply it. You apply it here. And you can just work on this quietly by yourself over the course of many months, many years, until you are completely happy with it. So here is the thing you need to understand. Not everybody wins a championship. Even some of the greatest athletes in the world don't win championships. There is a bit of luck involved when it comes to this piece of project, whether it gets received by the world or not. However, here's the thing where writing is different from sports. Writing is not a zero-sum game. Just because someone else's book does well, doesn't mean yours won't. Just because someone else's blog does well, doesn't mean yours won't. What you want to focus on is improving, gradually improving, taking everything that you learn from warm-up, from regular season, applying it here. It's not a competition with other writers. It's a competition with yourself. Warm-up, regular season, or championship, it's all about creating the best work you can. The championship project should be one that you take your time with. This one doesn't have a deadline. It'll be ready when it's ready. It's about applying everything that has worked in past in a project that represents the best you. But just because you're now working on your championship project doesn't mean you shouldn't be warming up, practicing, and still consistently playing those regular season games. Because those are the ones that matter. Because it's all about attributing those two steps into the third one. I hope you give this writing process a try. Commit to it for maybe a year. See what happens. Write as much as you can. Ship it. Write as much as you can. Hit certain deadlines. And taking everything you learn from those smaller projects and applying it to one big one, a championship piece of writing. Do you currently have a writing process? If you do, please let me know in the comments below. Once again, my name is Elliot Chan. I'm a writer and content creator. And this channel is all about inspiring, motivating, and helping you find the time to write your story. I'll talk to you guys next time. See you.